Take three. Are we straight? Are we up and down? Oh my goodness. All of this drama. Sorry for the 12-minute delay. I'm going to wait for everybody to get on and get connected. Yeah, we're still here. We're still here. Just let me know if the quality's coming through good. Looks good. Live straight. Good to go. Yes, it's good. All right. Fantastic. I'm just going to wait a second for people to get on because we give you a little bit of a head fake there. While we're doing that, I hope you've gone through. There's two ways that you can go through GoPro Academy. One is just listen each week, but the second is to really study, to really take the lessons seriously, and to implement those. I've coached hundreds of people to make $1 million a year in network marketing. I've coached thousands of people to make 6 figures a year in network marketing. And you know when I've got somebody, I can tell you when I know I've got someone that I can really work with, is I give them some advice and they do it. I give them some recommendations and they follow. I give them a seed of an idea and they go implement. That's when I know. That's when I know I've got somebody that I can work with. So we're going to spend the next 30 minutes, so sorry for the delay, but whether you're watching this live or replay, put in the comments, live or replay, so I know. And you might want to watch this more than once after it's posted. We're live now, but more than once. The goal here for this whole year is to help you become an influencer. And I want to talk to you about some influencer ideas, and then the secondary goal is for you to create an influencer factory inside of your organization. So I want to give you a little bit more guidance on how you can fill in the gaps on becoming an influencer yourself, and then how do you identify potential influencers within your organization? And then how do you start the process of mentorship? Now in this 30 minutes, I'm not going to be able to take you all the way there, but we're going to get you started down this process. I'm going to give you some assignments when we're done, okay? Over the course of this year, I'm going to be giving you assignments on a weekly basis that are designed specifically to help you experience results, help you experience breakthroughs, to be able to move forward within your organization, okay? Now, the 5 criteria or the characteristics of an influencer. 1 is they're independent. 2, they're a problem solver. 3, they're consistent. 4, they have a big vision. And 5, they create action, activity. Close enough. So I want to talk to you about these first before we get into identifying the first 15 minutes or so. I want to talk about this for you, okay? Because most of you are not currently an influencer. So if you have a pen and paper, do this right now, and I'm going to ask you for some feedback on this, whether it's live or replay. I want you to post feedback into the comments, okay? Let's make this interactive. How independent are you currently? In other words, not that you're a lone wolf separated from the tribe, but how self-sufficient are you? That you have this figured out, that you know how to get past challenges, that you've got this. You're not needy. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you're absolutely 100% independent, and 1, you are dependent. Where are you on the scale when it comes to independence? Post that into the comments so I can see, and be honest with this. Because some of us think that we're supposed to be dependent. You know, I'm a good soldier. I'm following along. You know what I mean? Being a good soldier is one thing, but being completely dependent on somebody else is another thing. So we got 9s, 6s, 8s, 9s. Fantastic. You're 10, 10. Wonderful. Oh, so you're going ahead, Joel. Fantastic. 8, 7, 7. All right. Now, I want you to just look for gaps in any place where you might be needy, where you might be letting down. And I want you to, in your notes, you don't have to do this right now, but afterwards, I want you to come up with your own assignments of what you can do this week to be more independent than you were last week. How dependent are you on your upline? How dependent are you on company doing communication for your team versus you doing communication? How dependent? See what I'm saying? So come up with your own assignments on what you can do to be more independent. Now, let's talk about problem solving. A few of you went ahead. Problem solving is one of the key characteristics of an influencer. Now, a strong influencer takes a problem, and out of the 100% of their time, they take 5% of their time examining and figuring out the problem, and 95% of their time on the solution. You know what most people do in network marketing and everywhere else? When they encounter a problem, they seek to give it to somebody else as quickly as possible. They call somebody and give it to them. They call their downline, give the problem to them. They call their crossline, give the problem to them. They'll post in a group and give the problem to everybody in the group. They'll call the company, give the company the problem. So I learned a basic problem-solving strategy from Jim Rohn that really helped me. Because these are kind of intertwined, independent and problem solver. Because if you're a problem solver, you can be more independent, right? So here's the step-by-step criteria. When you are faced with a problem, number one, think to yourself, what could I do? What could I do to solve this problem? Okay? Most of the time, you have the capability to solve the problem on your own. Okay? What could I do? Number two, what could I learn? Is there a resource that would give me the ability to solve this problem anytime I want? If this is a common recurring problem, is there a place I could study? Is there something I could learn? I mean, even what we're doing here inside of GoPro Academy gives you resources to be able to be more of a problem solver. Bigger the problem, bigger the paycheck. So what could I do? Number one, what could I learn? Number two, who could I ask is number three. Okay? Because we all have somebody we could call. We can call the company, we could call our upline, we could call our friend, who could I ask is number three. And here's the key. Number four is, don't ask first. If you ask first, you become a terrible problem solver. Somebody else is solving the problem for you. Don't ask first. What could I do? What could I learn? Who could I ask? Don't ask first. Because if you ask first, somebody else becomes the problem solver, you don't. Decide now that you're going to become a better problem solver, that you're not going to run away from problems, that you're going to tackle those problems, that you are not going to necessarily be attracted to drama, but you're not afraid of a challenge. The other thing I will give you on problem solving is sometimes you're too personally, emotionally attached to be able to be objective with the problem, and sometimes you need a bigger hammer. And we'll talk more about this in future lessons. But there might be a problem within your organization. Let's say there's a problem child on your team. Let's say there's a little dragon growing within your organization, and it's a problem. So your hammer might not be big enough. Maybe it's your upline that's creating a problem. Your hammer might not be big enough to be able to solve that problem. So you say, what could I do? You try it, it didn't work. What could I learn? You learn what you can, it didn't work. Okay? Who could I ask? Sometimes you need to go up in authority to be able to find someone who can assist you in that problem-solving situation. If you're personally involved, sometimes you're not as objective as you need to be. But this skill is the skill. So, not the skill, but one of these skills that's most important. I decided at about age 25 or 26 that I was going to stop bringing problems to other people, my upline, my downline, even the company. And I was just going to solve the problem. If there was no training in my local market, I would solve the problem. If the company didn't do recognition the way I hoped that they would do it, I would solve the problem within my team. If there wasn't an incentive to get people excited in the month of January, I'd create the incentive. If there wasn't a great communication within the organization, I would create great communication. I'd create good structure. I'd provide assignments for my team. I would get out there and just take charge. I would take charge of the situation. I would be a problem solver. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to rate yourself. Some of you have gone ahead, but rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 as how good of a problem solver are you? Right now, this moment. Not how good are you gonna be, but how good are you right this moment? Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Whether you're watching live or replay, put something in the comments. Don't join GoPro Academy and just lurk in the background. Decide that you're gonna do it, okay? Coach Danette says 8. Diane Hart, 10, fantastic. 6. Stacy, Alice says 6. Joelle says 10, amazing. Tim says 8. Thomas, 9, well done. Patricia, 9. Janine, 8. Lots of 8s and 9s and 10s, fantastic. Now here's the thing, with this, you might be, you might think of yourself as a high number. Now I want you to think of who's a better problem solver than you. Who's better than you? There has to be somebody better. There has to be somebody who's higher skilled at that. And what are they? Now recalibrate yourself. And the assignment for number 2 is to think about what can you do to become a better problem solver. Maybe you're asking too quickly. You think you solve problems fast because you just quickly ask somebody. You ask the company, you ask your upline, you ask, and you think you're being a problem solver by asking. You're not. They're being the problem solver. You're just being the asker, okay? So what could I do? What could I learn? Who could I ask? Don't ask first, okay? So fill in the gaps there. 5s, 7s, 8s. Sponsored for Kelly this month, going for 20 and 30. Fantastic. Wonderful. Third is consistency. Now, I want you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 on consistency. How consistent are you in productive activity, in activity that is moving you in the direction of your goals? Creating a productive day. How consistent are you in growing your business? How easily distracted are you? Donna says 5, Kat says 6. Post it in the comments. Tim says 7. So we start dropping down, right? So we're a problem solver, we're independent, but we're inconsistent sometimes. A 3, 7, 3. Now let me ask you something. For some of you that gave yourself high problem solving numbers, but you're a lower number in consistency, is this not a problem? This is a problem. This is one thing that you need to do in order to be able to increase your productivity within the organization. So solve this problem of consistency. And here's one of the best ways. Now Sarah says it's one of her strengths. It's 10. Fantastic. Russell says 2. Jeannie says 6. So big problem with this, right? So here's a way for you to approach this as you start to step into a different level of problem-solving ability and influence within your organizations. Create a daily method of operation that is sacred. that is sacred. Sacred DMO. Now, I know you got big goals and you got big dreams, and there's things that you're going to do in order to be able to grow your organization, right? You got your campaigns, you're going to do 20 and 30, you're doing this, you're doing that. But what is the baseline? Create a baseline that you're never going to go off of, that every single day, whether it's 6 days a week or whatever it is going to be, every single work day, you at least do this every day. Now, maybe you're doing this and you're doing that and you're at your company convention or you're traveling with your family, but whatever, you're still going to do this. That sacred DMO that gives you a baseline that you can grow from, okay? So the DMO can include using the product yourself or the service, depending on what you're involved with. That could be something sacred every day, no matter what. Sharing your product with somebody else, no matter what's going on. Share your product with somebody else as a sacred part of your DMO. Sharing your opportunity with somebody else as a sacred part of your DMO. Maybe 15 minutes at a minimum of personal development is part of your sacred DMO. Whatever that happens to be, you come up with your criteria. I mean, a good, solid criteria, I put 5 things into a DMO as just kind of a placeholder. I'll give you those 5 things. One is product. Product use when appropriate. Make sure you're using the product. 2 is share the product with a prospect. At least once every day, no matter what. 3, share the opportunity with at least one person every single day. 4, personal development. Don't go crazy with this, but maybe 15 minutes as a sacred DMO, 10 pages of a good book, whatever. And 5, promote the next event. Every day. Every day, every day, every day. Now, you can add to this if you want. I mean, every day you're going to talk to your potential influencers in your group. Every day you're going to do a live. Every day you're going to do whatever you're going to do. But come up with your sacred DMO and use that as a baseline and just never go below it, but go above it from time to time with intensity on different things, and you're going to see great results. Okay? So, independent problem solver, consistent. Now, number 4 in this for you is a big vision. And let me talk to you about vision. Running out of room here, but I'll just put it in the middle and we'll make it messy. A vision for, what's your vision for your company? What's your vision for your products? What's your vision for your team? What's your vision for your events? What's your vision for your influencers? All of this. What's the future look like? Because an influencer, you know what they do? Number 1, they have a big vision, but more importantly, it's so clear in their head that they have the ability to communicate that vision to anybody they come into contact with. You know what? People join influencers more than they join companies. People join influencers more than they join products. If you have the ability to articulate this vision, tell anybody you come into, let me tell you what's going to happen with this company and the products and the team. Here's where we're going. The events, here's what's going to happen. The influencers on the group, we're going to be expanding that. Oh, I'm scratching this, sorry. Sorry, Anders. What is your vision for your overall business, and do you have the ability to articulate it? Because guess what we get good at? We get good at sharing the products. We get good sharing the opportunity. But what we're not good at is sharing our vision. Sharing our vision. for the future. So right now, how do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as your, not just ability, but your practice of sharing the vision with anybody you come into contact with? Customers, your team, prospects, cross-line, upline, your family. What are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Rate that, please. I see some fives. What else? Don't hide. 5, 4, 5, 6. Thomas, Danielle, Coach Danette, Joelle, Kat, Patricia. Come on, the rest of you. Muhammad, 4. Janine, 7. Kelly, 7. Mark, 5. 3, 6. Yeah, by company, I mean the company that you're affiliated with, your own personal business. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to give you assignments with all of these, but with vision, I want you, here's part of your homework. I want you to write down your vision for all of these things. What's your vision for this amazing empire that you're building? What's it look like 5 years from now? Who's, how independent are the people that are going to be involved? How many lives are going to be changed? How many people are going to be involved? How many countries are going to be participating? Write it down, get it clear, and start sharing it with other people as quickly as you possibly can. Okay? This week, I want you to share it with your family. Tell your family your vision. Tell your downline. Go do a Facebook Live inside of your team and share your vision with your downline on a Facebook Live. Share your vision with your friends on a Facebook Live. Okay? If you have customers, share your vision with the customers. Anybody you can. Get into the practice of sharing your vision with people. And number 5 is influencers create activity. They just create activity when there wouldn't be activity. And do you know, sometimes it's just they're a force of nature. Sometimes they're so charismatic and they're so strong with their vision that the vision itself creates activity. Sometimes their consistency creates activity. Sometimes they solve a problem so fast within their organization that people just go right back into activity. Because if a problem sits around, think about it. Activity slows down, doesn't it? So creating activity happens through these activities, through these characteristics, but, leading by example, all that. But the biggest tool for an influencer is this: assignments. Assignments. Every time you're in interaction with your organization, give them an assignment. Most people are employee-minded. Give them an assignment, and they're just going to go, oh, thank you, now I know what to do. Oh, you just took all the pressure off. Wonderful, I can do that. So you tell them, I want you to go connect with 3 new prospects today. I want you to set up a 3-way call with me, just one today. I want you to get registered for the convention. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. Whatever it happens to be, give them an assignment that will move them forward in their career. And most people are super grateful for an assignment. So, this creates activity, this creates activity, this creates activity, this creates activity. Sometimes just your personality is going to create activity. You're so powerful that it's going to create activity because people want to be around you. Sometimes you're so bright, people just want to be around you. Sometimes you're a little bit intimidating, so people don't want to make you mad. And they want to, like a dog bringing a bone to the owner. They want to bring you a bone and say, look what I did, right? Sometimes people do that, but assignments are the thing, man. Assignments are so easy. So with this, first of all, I want you to put a number in. How good are you right now, this second, before hearing this message, on creating activity, just making activity happen within your organization on a scale of 1 to 10? And my assignment for you, how many assignments have I given you so far in this live? Quite a few. How long have we been going, by the way? Guys, how long have we been going? How long have we been going?
Now it's 12:37.
We've only going 12 minutes?
No, now it's 12:37.
When did we start?
We will start 12:15.
Ah, cool. All right. So rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 and think about how many assignments I've given you so far in this little live. And starting today and every day from now until next Wednesday, I want you to think in your organization of an individual, and I want you to call them up or contact them any way you want and give them an assignment that will help them have a breakthrough. It can be a simple one, simple assignment, but it'll help them have the breakthrough that they want, okay? Assignment might be reading 10 pages of a book. Assignment might be making sure that they're on a conference call or something. Assignment might be setting up a 3-way call with you, or it might be using your product every single day for the next 7 days. It could be anything you want. But think about how many assignments you can prescribe to people in your organization, individually, and as a group. And I'll help you with that, David. You need to find a leader, and it's fine. But for right now, if you have anybody in your team, give them an assignment. Even if you have a customer, give them an assignment. Try the product this particular way and do it for 7 straight days, whatever it happens to be. You understand? Okay, so these are the 5 for you. I want you to think about the gaps of what you can do to be more independent, a better problem solver, more consistent, have a bigger vision and be able to articulate it, and then we'll wrap up, okay? This is a lot. I've given you a lot of assignments this week. What? We good?
It stops. I don't know why.
Sorry, my son was calling. Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? We're back? Sorry, guys. My son was calling. So I want to give you, before we go, you're back? Everybody back? Cool. Yeah. So I want to give you a way for you to identify potential influencers within your organization, okay? Now, there's one characteristic that I need. They don't need to have any of these things to be a potential influencer. They don't need to have any of these things to start. You know what they need to have? They need to be hungry. And they need to be coachable. That's all. Hungry and coachable. That's it. So here's how you identify. Number 1, think in your organization who has these characteristics. Make a list, call them up, and say, look, I'm working to become a better influencer myself. And I want to do it with you. I want to help you. If you're hungry and you're coachable, and I think you are, I want to help you develop these influencer skills. Let's do it together. Are you in? Let's go. When I thought of somebody who is hungry and coachable and could be and should be a powerful influencer, I thought about you. You want to do it with me. That's number 1. Number 2, ask. Just ask. Take inventory. Do it now, however you want to do it. And here's what I mean by that. Ask your team, who is hungry for more? Who is coachable? Who would like to become an ultimate influencer in network marketing? Who's hungry and who's coachable? Who's ready? I'm working to develop myself stronger. I want you to step in with me. Now, you're going to get tons of people say, me, that aren't really hungry and they aren't really coachable. Because if you're hungry enough, you'll step past your fear. If you're hungry enough, you'll do things uncomfortable, right? You got to be coachable too. Now, even if you're trying to figure it out as you go, maybe you bring them into GoPro Academy, we do it together, but hungry and coachable, just ask. Send an email out to each person on your team. Send a text message out to each person on your team. Send a direct message on social media out to each person on your team and just ask, are you hungry? Are you ready for more? And are you coachable? Because if you are, I'm putting together a small team of people that I'm going to work with because I want to become a better influencer and I want to help them do the same thing. And together this year can be our year. Are you in or are you out? If you're out, fantastic. I love you anyway. If you're in, let's get together, set up a private Facebook group just for those potential influencers, that influencer school inside of your organization. Start to take these lessons that we're sharing on a weekly basis here for you to be able to plug into those groups. And what are you going to do with these people once you identify them? You're going to start giving them assignments. You're going to start telling them, okay, do this. Let's say they're not independent. Give them an independent assignment. Let's say they're not a problem solver. Give them a problem to solve. Let's say they're not consistent. Give them a consistency recommendation. Let's say they don't have a vision. They haven't figured it out. Work with them to develop their vision. Lead by example with your vision. And then challenge them to say it to other people. Right? Teach them how to use assignments to be able to get more action created within their organization. This is what you're going to do with these people after you identify them. Okay? So your assignment is to work. How many assignments did I give you? Right? To work through, to increase your activity with all of these. Create your sacred DMO on all that. And then the biggest assignment for this week is to identify through thinking, looking at your organization, who do you think is hungry and coachable, and then asking. Ask every single person. Even somebody that might not even be active within your organization, ask them. They joined for a reason. Maybe they just need to be involved with something so much bigger than what they're seeing at the moment. Maybe they need to be tapped on the shoulder and say, hey, I see something in you. Ask them if they have two characteristics. If they're hungry and if they're coachable. And if that's solid, you got something to work with. You got some raw materials. And then start giving them assignments. Okay? So that is the message for this week. Sorry for all the fits and starts and stops and starts and all that stuff. But whether you're watching live or replay, go through this, engage in this training. Make sure that you're using these lessons. And if you have people in your organization that you think would benefit from being part of GoPro Academy, tell them to join. Have them come in and learn with you. Have these influencers come be a part of it with you, okay? So go out there, make it an amazing week, crush everything,